Well, hello and welcome to Wouldn't What You Don't Need, and today we're going to have a look at this watch here, the Casio AE-1000W. In this version, which has a resin case in a matte metal finish with a black resin strap. Now, why did I put this watch in the picture? Well, because as you can see, this is a W800H, and I replaced the strap on this one, and as you can see, the strap on these two watches are very similar. They have the same knurling, the same design. There's only one difference, and it's up here. The replacement strap, which is not a Casio original strap, has a metal buckle, whereas the Casio original strap has a plastic buckle. The rest is pretty much the same. Nice piece, the W800H. Have a look at the video or videos that I made about this. Replacing the strap, about putting a screen protector and everything. And why did I put this watch in the picture? Well, it's because I bought this quite a while ago, the AE-1000, and you can watch the unboxing of this one on the channel. But then I also compulsively bought this one, and since I bought this one, the AE-158 in golden brown dial, I have been wearing this all the time, or up until I got this, which is a Timex Expedition Chrono, on which I replaced the strap. I got this as a, well, gift, and I've been wearing first the AE-158 and then the Timex, and I haven't had time to wear this one. You might be wondering why there's a knife, a beautiful knife with titanium handle in the picture. Well, that's because I sometimes do knife reviews, and if you're interested in knives, well, have a look at my reviews. But we were talking about this watch, which, as I told you, or maybe I am telling you now for the first time, has very, very similar functions to its more famous brother, the AE-1200 or Casio Royale. Let's have a look at the measurements. We will measure the case here, which is 43 mil exactly. As you can see, you have some protruding parts here where the buttons are, but they are on the narrower side of the circumference. So 43 mil of case width. For a lug-to-lug, measured the wooden weight of 47.6, so it's a nice lug-to-lug, even for small wrists like mine, and case thickness of 13.4 mil. There's another feature that you might want to notice about this case, is that while the crystal is, of course, made of acrylics or plastic, and it will scratch easily, you have the top part and the bottom part with these plastic sort of guards. They will serve as a guard against scratches. You see they protrude a bit above the crystal level. So this is a nice feature. Let's measure the band width. It's 24/7, tapering down to 18.6. On a lug width of, in case you wanted to change the strap, 18.2. I think this is 18 mil of lug width. And the weight of this watch is 41 grams. Now let's have a look at the functions, because this watch has plenty of functions. And as you can see from the screen, you have 10-year battery, water resistance of 100 meters, 5 alarms, and many other pizzazz. Let's have a look at the back before diving deep into the functions. And the back says the module, which is 3198, the model number, stainless steel back. You can see that you have your 4 Casio screws with one slot longer than the other, and then it says that it's made in Thailand. But a funny thing to notice is that the strap was made in Vietnam. Well, let's, for real, now dive into the functions. Let's have a look at the home screen. Now the home screen tells you, of course, hour, minutes, and second. Then it tells you if you have the daily saving time activated, which I have in this case. I chose the 24-hour format. Then you have your day of the week, day of the month, and month. You have your map of the world that tells you your current time zone. And then you have this, which is useful and useless at the same time. It's very useful because this is a clock in analog form, which tells you hour, minutes, and, as you can see, seconds. Can you see down there the little dash that clicks every second? And this is very useful, but it's useless because it's kind of hard to see. Then you have another portion of the screen here which tells you if the alarm is activated, and the other slot up there, I can't remember what it does, but we will find out in a second. Without going into any other mode, you can automatically recall 4 time zones by pressing the bottom right button. So we have time 2, in this case it's New York City, time 3 is Madrid, and time 4 I accidentally chose the same time as my local time, which is Rome. In fact, when I go back to time 1, it says Rome and it's the same thing. But you have your local time and 3 more world time zones to choose at a push of a button. T2, T3, T4, and back to T1. After this, we have the world time. And on the world time, you can choose really a lot of cities for a lot of time zones. Let's scroll. YYT, what is it? I don't know. Rio, Brazil, Fen. I don't know what Fen is.
Fen, what is Fen? I don't know, you tell me.
UTC.
Lisbon, London, Madrid, once again, Paris, Rome, all with the same, Berlin, Stockholm, Athens, and so on and so forth until you come to Tehran, Kabul, Delhi, Kathmandu, Dhaka, Singapore, Hong Kong, and so on and so forth. Look at what a lot of cities and world time zones you have here.
And look at how the map changes here.
So we have Papua New Guinea, we have Honolulu, we have Anchorage, and so on and so forth. And now it will change. Will it change? LAX, yes, it changes. It changed. Denver, Colorado, and so on. Mexico City, Chicago,
New York City, and so on and so forth. So that's a lot of time zones, but this is a world time watch, and so it's something that you would expect from it. After that, you have alarms. You have 5 alarms. Have a look. You can select either to have your hourly beep on, hourly chime on or off. And then you have alarm number 1, alarm number 2, alarm number 3, alarm number 4, and alarm number 5. As you can see, down here you can choose on, and this will make the alarm sound every day of the week, or 1 on, and this will make the alarm sound only for that particular day. You set it, and then it won't go off the following days. After the alarm, oh, and by the way, we have no snooze alarm as far as I know. After this, we have your timer, and you can set your timer for hours, minutes, or seconds, and the least amount of time that you can choose is 1 second.
Can you imagine what you need 1 second timer for? It doesn't even have the time to beep that it already starts, so you wouldn't understand anything. But there you have it.
Here you have your tenths of seconds, and there is unfortunately no auto repeat function for this timer, which is a function that I use a lot. After this, you have your stopwatch, and of course in the stopwatch mode you have the function that nobody uses, or maybe you use it and tell me in the comments if you do, which is that of the split or lap function. You start it with the bottom right button, and instead of pressing stop, you will press clear. The watch will continue running in the back. You have time to jot down the first time, then you stop it for good. Jot down this time, because now when you press clear with the top left button, the second time will be displayed. Then you press clear once again and it goes to 0. Nice! And then you're back at your local time. But there are many other things that I can tell you, and these are activated by pressing the adjust button. So by pressing this button, top left button, and keeping it pressed for, I don't know, 5 seconds, you have all the things that you can adjust. Of course, your seconds, of course, your daily saving time. Then by pressing mode once again, you will adjust your time zone. In my case, it's Rome, but by scrolling up or down, you can choose different times. And have you noticed that I pressed this button, the top right button, but if I press the bottom right button, it will change. So this is a reverse and forward modal Casio. You can have the forward function or the rewind function, so to say. After the time zone, you can choose, of course, your time, your 24-hour or 12-hour format, and the year. And this one has a perpetual calendar that goes up to the year 2099, so quite a lot. We will all be dead by then, or maybe you won't, but I will for sure. Then you have your day of the month and your month, and then you have your light. And here you can choose if the duration of your light is of 3 seconds or only of 1 second, which is a cool feature, and I always leave it to the max possible. And then you're back to the original blinking screen, pressed adjust once again, and everything is set. So let's see how this watch fits on a very slim wrist of 16.5 centimeters or 6.5 inches. This is a beast of a watch. I don't know, 43 mil, 44 mil. It's too big for me, but I wear it all the same. Let's see how the AE-1000 looks on my tiny wrist. I have to fasten it on the 1, 2, 3, 4th hole, and because my wrist is so slim, the final part of the strap will stick out a bit, but I don't mind. This is how it looks on my tiny wrist. It doesn't look that big because lug to lug is not that big of a distance. For comparison, you have already seen the comparison with the timer. I'll notice that the display is quite crisp. It's always very visible, even if I turn it. For comparison, the classical Casio Square looks like this on my wrist. It's a bit smaller. And let's see them side by side, even though they have a different case geometry. Yeah, I mean, they're almost as big. Maybe the AE-1000 is a bit bigger. But how cool are these watches? And this is my cat, the intruder. But how cool are these watches with all these fancy functions? And now it's your turn. Tell me, do you have this watch or the AE-1200, which as far as functions are concerned, it's the same? And if so, do you use all its functions? And if so, do you like this feature or do you hate it? Do you think that these features take up too much real estate on the dial? You tell me in the comments below.
And I was trying to see.
Yeah, I'm fumbling because I'm trying to understand what this tells me. Oh, maybe if the hourly beep is on. So I was almost forgetting. This tells you if the alarms is on and if the hourly signal is on. But what about this slot here? It's a mystery. If you know what it does, please tell me. And if I find out, I will write it here on the screen. So this is it. I have been talking for too long already. And I'll see you on the next of Wooden What You Don't Need. Ciao.